As of right now, TikTok is officially banned in the United States. I swear I honestly thought that we had more time. I was originally planning a live stream tonight to continue watching TikToks and just make some commentary of them up until the moment when it happened. But I got this message, as I'm sure many of us have. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. I actually didn't make any attempt to download any of my TikTok. Frankly, I just didn't have the time. It's too much energy. I was partially in denial. I also did feel like I knew that the ban wasn't going to be permanent. I knew that it would come back, but the information that's starting to come out now about how potentially TikTok will be back is not what I thought it would be. But I did believe that Trump was going to come in and save the day with TikTok, not because it's the right thing to do, not because it shouldn't have been banned in the first place, but because of his ego, him wanting to shine. And most importantly, that in some way there has to be an absolute ton of money to be made from him saving this app. I'm just kind of like going off book right now. I'm just gonna say my immediate thoughts. It's been a sad day. I really have been in bed laying down because I have had a TikTok for over 4 years now. I literally created my TikTok account the day after one of the worst days of my life, a tragic loss. The next day I downloaded TikTok for the first time and made a TikTok with my niece. It was like a trending sound where you like walk close to the camera and then you move back like this. That was like one of the first ones I did. Since then, I just post random stuff, talking, this, that. Didn't really put too much energy into it. But about 6 months ago, I decided that I was going to put in so much energy into TikTok. Someone told me, if you can't think of something, you better think of something. You know, if you can't think of something to make, you better just think of something, just put it out. TikTok's format allowed to do that compared to YouTube. YouTube is a lot more organized. Like even just this setup here today, I had to clean off my desk. I had to do my hair, because that's just how YouTube is. It's just a completely different vibe, and anyone that has TikTok knows that. And I'm sure there are people on here who are like, I don't have TikTok. I would never have TikTok. I don't know what you guys are all complaining about, but it's just a totally different vibe over there. I tried for roughly 6 months, I believe, that I was going to go hard until I was able to make money from it. And I'm literally at the beginning stages. Like I've only become recently a part of the rewards program. Even being part of the rewards program, there's so many parameters to you actually making money. So I was a part of the rewards program and actually started to make a little something. You know, I have said that it's been life-changing, and by life-changing I mean a lot of us are bogged down by debt. I've talked about being in film production ad nauseum on this channel and on my TikTok. The film industry is crushing us, it's killing us. It's not the same as it used to. The money is dried up, the jobs are dried up. Honestly, it was the universe. Honestly, it was God that was telling me you have to do this on your own. You know, I'm a yapper. I've always been a yapper, a talker, and so I took my yapping and talking talents to TikTok. There were a couple things that I said that went viral. As of today, I had 19,500 or so followers. This is the most I've had on any platform. As many years as I've been working on YouTube, you guys don't see as much content as I have made for YouTube, but I have made a lot of content for YouTube throughout the years, sometimes being extremely consistent, posting stuff that just never gets pushed through. And like once you've been doing the social media game, you know that it is something pushing you through the algorithm. Like your life before and your life after, a life of poverty, lack, no money, debt, is literally on the other side of that, just getting pushed through the algorithm. It wasn't happening on here. It still hasn't happened on here. You work so hard, like my recent video, A Nation in Crisis, which I will get into some of that in this video. My Nation Crisis video took me over a week to edit. Literally a week, like a full-time job. A long time to write it. One of my colleagues had an opening at their studio where they wanted some YouTubers and creators to come in and record so that they could get like testimonials and like BTS for their promotions. So I was very lucky that I got to record in the studio. I did everything right, and that was at the tail end of being consistent. And, you know, I had people in the comments saying like, this video should have so much more views. And I genuinely believe that. Like, humbly, I do believe that it should have way more views than it did. You know, frankly, in this space of talking about movies and stuff, there's not a lot of people that look like me. On TikTok, it's just not like that. Like, if you put in that hard work, it will pay off. And it requires like a significantly less time commitment, energy commitment. You do have to put yourself out there more. You do have to express yourself. I mean, I guess it depends on what type of stuff you do. And me, I'm in the process of like changing my type of TikTok content. I want to lean more into what I'm doing on YouTube, just with more frequency and more personal and more news and like philosophical analysis. Well, you guys know I like to do that. I'm just sad. Like I said, despite me knowing and feeling like TikTok is going to come back, I just know in my heart of hearts, it's not going to be the same. If you've been on TikTok the past 3 days, you know that all hell has been breaking loose. People saying goodbyes, people dragging the government for filth, waking up to the propaganda that is clearly obvious that we've been fed about China. See, even me talking about that, I'm like afraid to how much detail I can go into about what I've been seeing. And I so wish that I could have downloaded some of the TikToks to play in this video, because so many other people express this so much better than I did. It's so interesting because for the past year and change, I've actually been feeling like this about America, that why is it that America wants to be tough on China so bad when they literally make this. Is this in China? Literally everything that we have that I could touch here is likely made in China, but we want to be so against them. We don't let their movies come here. We don't let this. We don't let that. We don't all these things. We're made to fear them. I'm not saying anything, they're perfect, whatever, perfect history. I'm not saying none of that stuff. I've been thinking to myself, like, why do we want to be adversaries with anybody? Like, we should be wanting to work together. And this is why certain things are now happening against the US, like, for example, BRICS. I'm not going to go into that too deeply, but the way America is behaving is literally ostracizing itself from the rest of the world. BRICS. You can do your own research on that. It was starting to be very apparent to everyone on TikTok what is happening. The fact that you're being so controlled, and it's like very obvious, it's very in your face. It's just like you're just looking at these people, these lawmakers, which is mostly older white men, older rich white men, which, as I have talked about on my TikTok channel, that we need to be able to tell the difference between the old rich white men in DC and Silicon Valley, our friends standing at the media and begging for change, or working at the grocery store as a cashier. We need to be able to tell the difference, right? But when you see on TV these old rich white men who are in bed with technology people, with these CEOs of these companies, they're doing backdoor deals, insider trading, they're making laws literally just to serve their own interests, just to make money. And you just think about how they control your entire life. Like I said, it's been all hell breaking loose on TikTok because people are literally losing their livelihoods. I only just started making money on TikTok 3 months ago. TikTok has helped me pay down back paid bills. I haven't even made profit from TikTok yet because I'm still paying debt. Like, I have debt from this year, last year, but TikTok has helped me in these past 3 months pay off some of this debt, so that I can get to actually zero. There are people who, again, laid off from the industry, laid off from tech. We know tech is laying off people. Jobs, regular jobs, just getting laid off. It's so hard to find a job these days. You're sending out hundreds of applications. You're competing with thousands of other people. The wages are not even paying. And so people have found some way to entertain others and have accounts on TikTok and make a way for themselves. Not to mention the hundreds, thousands of small business owners who came up with a product that people needed, that people wanted, that was useful, and they started selling it on TikTok, and it's changed their lives, the lives of their family, their children. And the government just said, they just took it. They just took it because, oh, national security. Y'all think we're stupid or something? There's no national security. Half of these politicians are on the app. Y'all didn't care about national security with Shein, with Temu, with Amazon, with Facebook, all these companies, Google, that are all selling our information. The television sells our information. I've talked about them before. Check out Louis Rosman. The cars that they're making now have technology in them that will track your driving data, and they'll eventually sell it, send it off and sell it, that it goes back to the insurance company, who then can in turn raise your premiums. It's okay when you do it, but it's wrong when we do it, right? This whole thing has just been such a blatant obvious of like, we're going to do what we want. We don't care if this is your livelihood. We don't care if you're able to pay your bills. We're the only ones that are allowed to be rich. We're the only ones allowed to make money. You all will make money when we say you make money. Maybe we'll give you a little tax kickback or something like that. The wealth inequality, the gap is just widening. This was a way that a lot of people could make some money when it comes down to it. Make some money, not just, obviously it's entertaining. You learn a lot of information. You learn a lot of things. But this was a way for people to make money. And they said, well, fuck y'all and your little small business. There were doctors who can no longer work in medicine because of the politics, because of the insurance companies, and they found a way to get on TikTok and heal and help people. Nutritionists get on TikTok and give information for health and food that literally saves lives. I made a video discussing how I beat pre-diabetes type 2. It got almost 600,000 views. I had so many people messaging me like, I've had diabetes for years. My doctors never told me this. Just like validating everything that I was saying in the video. And I did my research and you're so right. Or like, I've been implementing this, like, and I'm not even like on that type of wave. I just kind of make like lifestyle talk about, I have so many interests, and like TikTok rewards you having all those interests. Unlike YouTube where it's like you have to do this one thing and you cannot step out of it. Like, who knows, this video that I'm making now is probably going to be seen by no one. I'm just stream of conscious. So I might not close some loops in this rant. I'm just going around the world. I didn't write any notes or anything. There's this one guy, I loved his page. He used to go to the grocery store and he would tell you which ones were like family owned, like small business owned. There's so many products at the grocery store that you think are organic and that they're owned by some private, healthy company, like upcoming, only to find out they're owned by Nestle or Kraft. One of these big conglomerates that you just don't trust, that as soon as they buy these companies, as soon as they get a hold of it, they do everything they can to streamline, to siphon the money to the top, right? They'll use inferior ingredients. They will not use organic. They will, cheapen out on the bottles, have BPA in it. Like, this is notorious enshittification of what private equity does, corporations do when they get a hold of these small businesses, right? He used to show you people like Keith Lee or other restaurants that were failing, and someone just goes on there and shows the food and like, hey, if you're around, just check this out. Like, literally saving businesses from bankruptcy. Now, I'm not saying it's a perfect app, right? Like, obviously, there were a lot of people who are addicted to it. I have felt addictive vibes sometimes, but I was getting paid for it. So for me, it was like, but you just learn so much. Teachers who just couldn't do teaching anymore, again, because of politics, because of no money, because of all the horrible things, are coming online. And I follow history pages, like people who teach you about history, who used to be teachers. Not a barter system almost, but it's just like we're just passing around information, like exchanging, like, thank you, pass it on, thank you, pass it on. Like, it's just that kind of vibe on there. It's just sickening the way, like, these people in DC, like, they just control everything you do. Like, they think that they know what's best for you, what's best for us, than we do. And so that being said, although it's clear that it's not going to be banned forever and that it will be coming back, I don't think it's going to be the same. Like I said, all hell has been breaking loose on TikTok the past 3 days. And there are rumors going around that Meta, we all know that Meta is responsible for this ban, but also that Meta might be involved in bringing it back, and that is possible it might be sold to Meta or partnered with Meta or something. I don't know. But if that's the case, we all need to be very, very vigilant. I didn't want to say afraid, but we need to be vigilant. This is a scary place. 4 or 5 men own the entire internet, all the social media. We have watched what Elon Musk has done with Twitter. I must have made this comment at least 6 times today out of all these videos, because everybody's talking about this. Out of all these videos, it has to be at least 90% of Twitter that is bots. I'm serious. If you want to torture yourself and just go on there and just scroll and read through the comment replies, especially if Elon Musk makes a post. All the comments are, wow, you're just so smart. Wow, Elon Musk is going to save the day. Wow, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and like making these AI images of like Musk and Donald Trump together like as heroes. I mean, it's some sick shit, bro. And I actually saw another video today about how Facebook is intentionally going to be incorporating AI, fake bots and people on the internet, on Facebook, to make it seem like you have engagement that you don't actually have. We watched what Elon Musk has done with Twitter. The comments, racist, sexist, misogyny, hate, just some of the most evil, nasty, disgusting comments that you will read on the internet. A couple weeks ago, a woman posted a picture of her with her PhD. Child, they drug her for days with the most evil, hateful, nasty things that you could possibly think of saying to a person, just because she posted a picture of herself with her degree. In the words of David Pakman, the Megapotamians are infighting a lot right now that has to do with Musty. And anyone who disagrees with Musty, he will block them from Twitter. The same guy who claims to be about free speech is blocking people on Twitter who disagree with them, removing their accounts, removing their paid, like, you know, Twitter Plus account or whatever for disagreeing with him. These people in charge are not mentally well. They are literally mentally unwell. And we're putting them in charge of our news, our communication, our information, the products that we buy, the things that we go, the sites we use, everything. We're putting 4 or 5 people in charge of all of that. Now listen, the TikTok CEO might be just doing what he has to do to save his company. He went to Mar-a-Lago, he bent the knee, he kissed the ring. He did what he had to do for tiki-taki. You know, maybe it's fake. Maybe he's just doing what he has to do. Earlier today, I saw that he had reposted, I guess they were in Greenland, some stuff in Greenland with Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump Jr. And they were just talking, like, I don't know, making a joke kind of about, or just like, oh, Greenland, they love us here. They love us here. And he reposted that. It will be very bad if TikTok is owned by Meta. They're going to enshittify, like I said. What they're going to do is they're going to siphon as much money as humanly possible out of the creators, out of the businesses. They're going to make you, like the same way they do on Instagram, pay to play. If you want your stuff seen, you're going to have to pay for it. If you want your product seen in the TikTok shop, you created a product, you're going to have to pay for it. It's not going to be enough that you split the fees with TikTok or whatever you do. It's not going to be the same, man. It's not going to be the same. I very much hope that I'm wrong, but it's not going to be the same. I guess I just really need to get that off my chest. Honestly, like, for me, it's like it all goes back to a nation in crisis. Like, I do believe we are in the end game now. We are in the end game, you know, where the road splits in a wood and it's the dark one. And then the other path, I'm not saying it was better. It was going to be just going straight, doing the same shit. Eventually, we was going to have to go to the dark way. The election went the other way, in my opinion. It would have just been like the status quo. Nothing would change. But now we go into the dark road faster than I think a lot of people thought. And there will be good stuff on the other side. But getting through that dark forest is going to be... It's going to be crazy. Anyway, if you're interested in anything like that, when I was talking about the nation in crisis and stuff, make sure you watch my video, A Nation in Crisis. I'm talking about Leave the World Behind Civil War and how the movies that are coming out are reflecting the times that we're living in. Like every movie that I've seen recently is literally reflecting, like even Wicked I saw, you know, was reflecting the times we're living in. The Gladiator 2 movie, same thing. Fall of an Empire, we need to change things before it's too late. They're all the movies are literally about what this country is going through right now. One other random thought that I had though was that, like, as I'm watching all the people on TikTok waking up about like China, like, oh my god, like China is like, the things that I learned about China these past 3 days I didn't even know. You know, their rents are like the houses that they get for the amount of rent, it's enough to make you cry. The homeless population in China is like 0.0018% or some shit like that. See, I don't even want to go down that road because I do know some of the history, and I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about the Great Leap Forward, and we don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to go down that road. But well, the point is they did bring their people out of poverty. Again, I believe all governments are corrupt, but the thing is, if someone keeps telling you something, that's bad, hate them, we got to ask questions. We can't just be blindly just hating someone who some other person tells us to hate, especially if we don't fucking trust the person telling us that. We got to ask questions. The whole point is not to just, oh, let me just jump on this bandwagon then. No, we got to ask questions. We have to ask questions. But anyway, that being said, the amount of people waking up about, again, the food, you know, the Chinese speed train, which is incredible, the rent, you know, the jobs and all this stuff, it started to remind me of the cyberpunk movies of like the 2000s and like 2010s or whatever, when it always takes place in America in like the late 2000s, like 2090, 2000, 2175, like they show like New York and like everything is in Chinese and Japanese, and it kind of made me have like a moment like, whoa, like, is this where it starts? Like they literally predicted that in the movie, that in the future, like America was going to be more like run by Chinese and Japanese and Koreans, just generally like Asia. And we also have seen in the past few years, especially with TikTok and the rise of K-pop incorporating into the American culture, which has done so in such a large way. Something I've been wanting to talk about, but I'm not really sure how to like incorporate it. But so much of our hairstyles, like this modern Gen Z hairstyles and the way they dress and stuff, is inspired by Korean culture and Korean fashion. The point is, I couldn't help but think about those cyberpunk movies and like that imagery of like the city with all the Chinese, like, but I just couldn't help but think, I'm like, oh, this is how it starts. Like, this is literally like we're here. We are here now. Those are my thoughts on the TikTok ban. This video is very opinionated, so sorry. It's just how I've been seeing things and studying art and history and stuff like that. A year ago, when I started to realize, like, I started to question certain things, was like, this is why knowledge is power, right? Like, I went back to college last year, and my American history class was American history from 1866 until the modern day. So it was like literally post-slavery, like Reconstruction era. And we learn about the Chinese Exclusion Act and like all the ways that America was trying to the Chinese people, like super fucking racist, xenophobic, like crazy, and it still literally lasts to today. I would like to know what you guys think about what I said in this video. TikTok is banned. I do think when it comes back, it's not going to be the same. If it's involved with Yucky Zucky in any way, he's going to do everything he can to siphon the money up from creators to the top. Because again, as we know, it's never enough for them. It's never enough for them. It's not fun for them to be rich unless everyone is extremely poor. You know, it was also exposed that so many of these politicians have stock in Meta. You know, their insider trading. It's just, yeah. Anyway, guys. Oh, I also just want to say, like, I'm sorry I've been MIA. I really have been on TikTok, you know, I've been on TikTok these past weeks. Been working more. Honestly, I've been having like such a creative block. I have plenty of YouTube ideas, but I was having such a creative block. The motivation to just start. And it's also been like almost 8 months since my last short film. I'm starting to feel short film sick. Like, oh, I need to make the next thing. Like, I'm starting to feel that stirring. That's kind of where I've been. Make sure you guys follow the Poseidon Films YouTube channel so that you can see my next 2 short films when they drop. Interchange and The Taking. I want to say they're coming soon, but I said that like 4 months ago. So hopefully they come soon. Hopefully. All right, guys. See ya.
5 minutes later.
These people are mentally ill. They think that this is a game for us. They don't believe that we are people. They're very, very withdrawn from us plebes. These people are mentally unwell. Call me delusional, but something is telling me that I don't know if the TikTok ban is going to go through. But something is telling me that old goat that's about to go into the office is going to wait till the 11th hour to stop this. And not because he actually cares, not because it's the right thing to do, not because we have these old farts in the government who don't even know what a social media is, let alone what a TikTok is. But he's going to do it for his ego. He's going to do it because it's going to make him look really good. Something I suspected is that the CEO of TikTok, who did meet with him at Mar-a-Lago, which is his house, which is apparently where everyone goes to bend the knee or kiss the ring. I do believe he kissed the ring. And who knows what he offered him. I mean, TikTok is very, very valuable. It's making a lot of money. I don't know what you give the man who has everything, but these people are giving him all kinds of stuff in order to hope that he doesn't, I don't know, smite them or something, or that he gives them some kind of benefits or perks or something.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Basically.
Okay, time.
PR stunt is trending. They're just playing in our faces. And, you know, I'm putting this at the tail end of the video as I was just about to render it out to upload it. I knew the ban was going to be short, but I didn't think it was going to be that short. But it also makes plenty of sense because he wants people to watch the inauguration. He just wants to, you know, make it seem like he's a hero, like he saved the day. But again, I stand by everything I said. You know, we're going to see what the negotiations of this TikTok coming back will be. It kind of puts TikTok on the back foot where they do have to, again, like I said, bend the knee, bend over, whatever they got to do, kiss the ring. You're not going to just be able to have this for nothing. You're going to have to give them something. And therefore, the app is not going to be the same as it was. And we should all prepare to watch the enshittification of this app. They're playing in everyone's faces. They're playing in people's livelihoods. They're threatening people. They're fear-mongering people. And we're going to watch as once they combine with some other company in the US, we're going to watch how they're going to siphon all of the money from the creators, from the business owners to the top. Because when they can control you financially, your food, your news, your information, they can just control your whole life. Oligarchy, feudalism, fascism, modern day monarchy, techno-feudalism is what they call it. So again, like I said, stay vigilant. I'll catch you guys soon. This is some bullshit.